Resume recording. All right, so resume the recording. All right, and let me go share my screen again. Sorry about that. I'm not so comfortable with Zoom. I really don't like Zoom that much, even though my face is a lot now. I don't like it on this account, and I still don't like it on this account. But it uses a lot more resources, bandwidth, than does Google Meet. And because of use more computer resources and the bandwidth. So because of I gravitate toward Google Classroom, even though it uses less and manages the bandwidth better, the truth is that there's this one feature we need with Zoom, which is the recording stuff. Because although Google Meet does recording, it's more for the enterprise editions, the one that you pay for. And it is not so accessible to pay for if you're an individual, like how Zoom is, right? But if it becomes that way, I'll check it out and I might definitely work with that. All right, but this is what I'm using for now. And not to mention too, where after the videos are recorded in Zoom, it easily converts to a MPEG-4 file, not AVI. MPEG-4 is a file format that allows me to just right away just upload it to the YouTube, so we have access to it, right? So that is why we're using Zoom right now. All right, so let us pick up and continue. So last time we were looking at loops, all right, getting a good idea of what loops are, how they work, and so on. So remember, a loop really, it is where, let me start off from the most basic. A general idea for a loop is an iteration or repeat construct, right? Hold a second, please, because every single integration, I have class, but yes, still people just keep coming with their noise, and it really annoys me. It really, really annoys me. Okay, it dies now. No. All right, so let us get into this. So loop, the first thing about a loop is that you have to be familiar with the names of a loop. You have iteration, you have repeating. So loop, repeating, iteration, they're all the same thing. Do not miss that. So whenever you see a question about iteration, repeat, or so on, it's all the same thing. Be the same, like saying 6, half dozen, and whatever, just the same thing, or 2/4 of a dozen is still the same thing. So don't make the big word, especially big word iteration, throw you off balance. It is just the same thing. All right, so now let us get into this. Now, as we were looking at last class, look at for next loop. A for next loop is called a bounded loop, as you're seeing here. I think I shared this to everybody from last class. All right, and I think I also put it inside the WhatsApp group. For next loop is really a bounded loop. Why we call it a bounded loop? Because you know how many times you're going to loop before the program even starts. So let's say, for example, like in this case now, we want to get the names of some persons, accept the year they were born, ask them which year it is, and produce out the age. So if you have, let's say, 50 people in a class, I'm ready for all 50. You know, you loop when loop 50 times. Right, so that's why we call it a bounded loop, because you know exactly how much time it's going to loop before the programming starts to execute. We did that last class, and let me open here. Let me open this particular section. Let me get rid of all of this, delete all of this, zoom up a bit, because as you all know, I'm going blind. No joke, but my eyes need help. All right, and yeah, make this go smaller. That's good enough size. All right, cool. So now let me just copy this out. Get away nothing. Sure. All right, let's copy this out now. And you see exactly what I'm talking about. This is the program without the loop. program is called loop tryouts. We declare some variables, nickname as string, year of birth, age, and current year, CYR, as integers, whole numbers. Let's copy this out now. Control C, and cover here, Control V, and paste that in. So this is our little program. Let us run this. Run. Executes fine, masterfully. What is your name? My name is Mowgli. What year were you born? I was born in 1950. What year is it? It is the year, let's say 2000. So you know, Mowgli about 50 years old, all right? Mowgli, you are now 50 years old. So the program runs. So this is a simple example of our program. All right. And one of the reasons I'm taking certain stance where I'm not going to have any additional class to facilitate anybody understanding or not understanding. I've tried it twice. On both occasions, people not turn up. And even when they do turn up, they turn up late. Not doing it again. You practice, you're on your own. In class, that's it. That's just where it is now. All right. So this is a situation. Ask your name, the year you're born, which year is it now? The program tells you how old you are. All right. So let's get into this now. What if we want this program to loop for, let me see what we have here. So what if we want to calculate the age of 3 persons? All right. Now what we can do is Control A, highlight this. Oops, not all of that. Let me just highlight this part of it. Yeah. Oh, this look at table looks so look funny. It look funny, like when that seems part of the statements. Control C and Control, hold on, click here, Control A, Control V. All right. So here's my little program with the loop. Notice the difference. All right. This word up here needs a P. P. All right. The program name is loop tryouts. These are the variables I'm using still. Nickname as string, YOB, A for year of birth, age as integer, CYR, which is current year, as integer as well, and the X is the variable that is going to help me to count through the loops. For X, therefore, equals 1 to 3, do begin. And then I end. You know, the compiler is even so nice. It cannot make one like a line for me, so I can't even see how to line up my statement. So this for loop, the end of it is right here, the end semicolon. There's no semicolon here or here, right? The loop statement ends here. All right. And what it says, write what is your name. The person enters their name. So Bugalo. All right. Right. Which way were you born? Enter the whatever year they enter is entered into the variable YOB. Which year is it? Let us say it's 2022. So enter 2022. So what the computer does now is calculating age. Age therefore equals the current year, 2022, minus whatever year the person entered as year of birth. And then it says, write to the screen, right line, the person's nickname, Bugalo. You are now whatever age it calculates out to be, and it puts a statement of that years old. And it says, we just ended loop number X, which will be 1, then 2, then 3, because X will be 1 to 3. If I'm saying this to you guys now, and it really make you sound, make you feel out of work, like Mr. Bandana talk about, it simply means that you weren't at last class. One of three things happen. You weren't at the last class, 1. 2, you never understood from last class, which means that even when we did go and say, all right, I'm having a little extra time to fit you in to help you, you never turn up either. All right, also means that. And 3, you never practice. Yup, that's what it means. All right, cool. Let's run this program and see. What is your name? Let us say one of my favorite names, Mowgli. Oops, enter. Which year born, Mowgli? 2000. Which year is it? 2022. Mowgli, you are now 22 years old. We just ended loop number 1. All right. What is your name? My name is Punkus. What year born, Punkus? 2021. Which year is it? 2022. Punkus, you are now 1 year old. Well, should have make continuous with the grammar still. That look weird. 1 year old. All right. What is your name? My name is Flips. Flips. What year are you born? 1900. Which year is it? 1999. Flips, you are now 99 years old. We just ended loop number 3. We did this last week. So this is really revision. This is really revision. Yeah, not teaching you something new. So, but there's something you need to do, an honest appraisal of yourself, young people. Honestly, guys. If you find yourself that you really not understand, there's a significant likelihood that you're not practicing. That between last week Monday or last week Tuesday to today, you have not looked at programming in any serious way. There are persons who have done this, understand it, write their own code more than one time and gone. To the point that I even told them not to turn up today because I'm wasting time. Yep. But of course, I want to continue on ahead because guess what? If I keep delaying, the time is going to run out and you're not going to be ready for your exam because the syllabus won't be finished, right? And the allowances and the interventions that I try to put in place to accommodate persons that don't turn up and they don't even have the decency, Mr. Bantan. May I come Thursday now? May I come tomorrow, you know? Then I say nothing at all. I mean, make my time available when I could have done other things and then I turn up and I'm more than what they happen. So I'm just not going to do it again. Yeah? So if you don't understand what we just did, guys, now is a good time to talk because we're going to go into the other 2 loops, the do while loop and the repeat until loop, which is really what we are here to this evening, that we could have done and should have done from last week. But if you don't understand, let me hear. Hello?
So there are some parts that I do understand, sir, but
There are some parts you do understand, but there are others that you don't understand.
so others, sir, is like the mathematical part of it, sir. Like when you're supposed to do, yes, sir.
The calculations,
Yes, yes, sir. It's not that you don't know how to do the calculations. It's when you're writing it, sir, and then you're making mistakes.
yeah, I know. But the thing I'm trying to tell you now, Mr. Logan, is this. I think I said it before. You are going to make mistakes. You have to just practice because the truth is, the first thing you have to do, the first step you have to establish when you're writing the program is you have a calculation to do, how to carry the calculation, add, subtract, multiply, divide, less than, greater than, equal to, not equal to. Those are the things you have to bear in mind. So if mentally, so here's what I suggest to you. And also I try to keep it simple calculations. So I'll give you a task to do. Like the perimeter of a room, circumference of a circle, doubling a number. I keep it simple because I don't want you thinking about how to do a calculation. Oh, convert Celsius to Fahrenheit, I'm back. You know, I don't want you thinking about that. Calculate the price of a certain item after tax and discount. No, nothing like that. What you need to do is see if you can write a simple program to add 2 numbers and convert that to a loop. If you can get it, then you know you're okay. All you need to do is improve on the thought process to solve problems mathematically, and that reason to require more of a math teacher than for a programmer. You see what I'm saying, Mr. Logan? That's what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And to go more, a little bit deeper into the situation that you might be facing is that This now comes, even if you're not to solve the problem and you find you're making mistakes and the program not running, it simply means of a truth. What you need is more practice. But what you have to do is go and see, for example, like this one that me share the file with you. See if you can write this program on your own, not by writing the exact thing that's here. Use different variables and so on. And see if you can see where you miss like the semicolon here or the colon there, because all those little things matter. And when you get your program running, you can say, yes, I'm gonna get it running now. So therefore now we can start mixed up a bit. All right, we can write a program to calculate the age of a person. Let me see if we can convert. No, that one is too big. When I say convert someone age to dog years, but that one is too big. All right, let me see if we can say, okay then, fine. How old I am born this time? Which year will I be able to get my license? Right, so I know I'm born, let's say 2005, and I need to be 18 years old, right? So I'm write a program to say, okay, fine, put in a year, and it will tell me, say, okay, you qualify for your license, congratulations. Or you say, no, that's an if statement. I'm not sure if statement yet. But if you put in a particular age, just say, okay, fine, this is the aim I need for my license, because it will add X amount to the year when you're born. So if you're born 2005, you know you need to be 18 years old. So a program that will add 18 to 2005, so say, okay, you need in the year, like 2023, in the year 2023, you can go get your license. Any little thing I can think of. Any little thing I can think of. Right? Just conjure up a little program and see if I can make it work. Right? So that's what it takes. But if you don't practice, guys, I'm telling you, guys, let me tell you something. I did programming, you know, guys, and I struggled with it. Yeah, I did programming in school and I struggled with it. And I can tell you how me overcome was that a practice. And the longer you take for practice, you realize that when class just started, we're doing simple programs. People, man, that's simple, never have to practice too much. And then now we're going to loops. I realize that you're in deeper waters now. And it'll be harder to swim. If you don't start practice now, it will get deeper next class, because I'm going to do if statements next class. And then after I do if statements, in the next class I'm going to do is counting and aggregating. I'm done. There's 2 more classes, my programming, you know. And the topics just compound and compound, and before you know it, you're like you're drowning. You have to practice. But all we can do is advise. All right. So guys, let us get into this. All right. I like my programs lined up perfectly now. I like how them look funny. So forgive me here. My lecture used to cuss about this back in the college days about programming. Make sure you indent, and it must be consistent. And it's like cuss about, you waste time on indent. We can't bother with that too much. And see me now, can't write code unless you indent properly. Look weird. All right, why we indent? It looks better, yes, but that's not the main purpose. We indent because it's easier to understand the code. We can see right away where we're going to loop. I'll write longer programs where some part will loop and other parts won't. You'll realize that it really does look better. So you can pick up right away where it's going to loop and where it does not loop. You know, just look at the code and know. All right. So let's convert this now to a do-while loop. All right. So how do we do this now? We delete this entire line. And now we say while x is less than, in this case, less than 3, do, we have begin already. See? While x is less than 3, do begin. So name a do while loop, but it actually write like while do. While x is less than 3, do begin. Remember this instruction up here that spoke about loops. It says a while loop. This repeats as long as a condition is true. Do while, well, this was more of like an algorithm kind of concept. Do while x is less than 3, not so much of a Pascal code. All right? Because Pascal said while x is less than 3, do. All right? So looking back at this now, we say, while x is less than 3, do begin. And then we start to write the code. But there's one problem here that I need someone to answer. Can anyone tell me what is the value of x? Can anybody tell me? I'm putting it in right now. X therefore equal to 1. Right? You wouldn't have known that before because there was no value to tell you what x is. And I'm put, guys, please mute your microphone. Guys, I don't want to mute anybody now. All right, please mute your mic. All right, so we have x therefore equal to 1. So the first value of x is 1. So while 1 is less than 3, do this, right? Then we come back. You know what? I don't want to do it that way. Let me just save myself the headache because I don't want to confuse anybody. Then I put this here, x colon equal to x plus 1 semicolon. What am I doing here? If I don't change the value of x, x is always going to be equal to 1, and the program can keep looping forever. It creates an indefinite loop. All right, let me run this program first properly so you can see it for yourself before I mess it up. What is your name? My name is Ludlow. Which year born, Ludlow? 2015. Oops, what is this? 2015. Which year is it? The year is 2022. Ludlow, you are now 7 years old. All right, next name is Pumpkin. All right, Pumpkin, which year born? 2010. Which year is it? 2022. Scroll up here, so scroll up. Pumpkin, you are now 12 years old. We just ended loop number 3. The program stopped because 2 is less than 3. If it add 1 more to see, 2 plus 1 will go to 3, it will not loop because x3 is not less than 3. It will stop the program. So this is what we call this an unbounded loop, because guess what? Before the program started to run, we did not know how many times, generally speaking. We might not know how much times it would loop. There's a condition in the program that tells it when to stop looping. Right? But let's put this further. I know there are process of questions right now. I know. So let me just stop here somewhere right now. What are the questions that you have? Some people just totally lost, right? Hello?
Sir, I understand, sir.
You understand? One person understands. Anybody else? Don't be afraid to say you don't understand. Okay. All right. So here's what we're saying. We say x equal to 1. The reason we have to do this here at line 9, I'm trying to highlight it. This area here called initialization. Initialization means giving the variable a value at the beginning of the program or the beginning of the loop, initializing. That's what we call it. We have to do it because we have to tell the computer where x starts at, so we can loop the appropriate number of times or give it the condition to work the loop. All right. And then if we don't actually allow it to change the value of x by saying x plus, or we could say x plus 2, we could say x plus 3, or x even plus 0.5, or even x plus 0.25. We could do that as well. All right. But this is what we call incrementing at line 23. You know what? Let me do this. Yeah. This little line right here, so that's what we call incrementing or counting. That's what we call it. Incrementing or counting. Right? Up here is what we call initializing. The little line 9, so x therefore equal 1. That's what we call initializing. We give x a value, an initial value, a value to start with at the beginning or before the program even loops, at the beginning of the program, before the program even loops. Why is it important? Let us put that to the test. All right, let's put that to the test. Turn that back off. Let's put this to the test. All right, if we don't give X a value, if we don't initialize and we don't increment, this is what happens. We end up in an indefinite loop. The program won't know when to stop. Run. All right, let's say Pinky 19, 15, 30, 20, actually 2000, 470 years old. What name? Blackie. How was you born? 1600. Which year is it? 1500. Whoa. Oops. 15,000. You are less than 100 years old. What is your name? Columbus. Which year you born? 1990. Which year is it? 1999. You're 9 years old. What is your name? Fulvi. All right. 1300. 1500. The program now stop loop. See, we just ended loop number 0. We just ended loop number 0. Ended loop number 0. The program don't know when to stop. So we are in an indefinite loop. The program will never stop looping. So if you execute this, and the reason we call it indefinite is this for this simple fact. When we are writing the code, we have this thing in the program that says stop up here. But after you make the code and send it to somebody else, they will not have this stop button, you know. They're going to find some X to click on at the top right-hand corner or something to go close the program, because the program never, ever stop. The program will never stop now, because guess what? There are no parameters, there are no conditions telling it when to stop looping. That is the problem with the loop. So let me continue with someone. Name Greeny. You're born 1951. It's like 1962. You're 11 years old. What is your name? Maddie. 2000 is 1990. You know, you can go as many as you want. Still at loop number 0. The program will never stop looping. So the first thing we do to stop it from falling into an indefinite loop is give a value. We don't have to use X here. We can say counter, but then you have to change this variable up here to counter. So counter therefore equals to 1. We can't say count. We can't use Z. We can't use Donkey Kong, Godzilla, whatever you want to use. All right, well, not really anything you want to use. Okay, you can't use the word while, you can't use the word begin, you can't use the word var or program or write line or read line, because all of those are reserved words. They mean something specific to the program, so you can't use those words. But any other program you can make up, fine. And then now we can say down here, we can say counter therefore equal to counter plus 1, semicolon. And then our program will run. Like, oh, I made a mistake. Where's my mistake now? Counter. Oh, here it is. Forget to use XSL again. So I show you. You are gonna make mistake in the program. It's inevitable. Ask any real programmer. Any real programmer, you are gonna make mistake. Like same thing on next one. What we do now though, Lord? Counter. Other area there now. I see that semicolon. Jeez, whims, man. Really? No, star. This not nice at all. Semicolon there. Comma. Semicolon here. Where's my error again now? All right, X, where X there? You see this? Give me main Pascal error identifier X not found. When I have no more X now program. Oh, granny. Ah, jeez. Counter. What's the matter about doing things in a hurry? See, you are gonna make mistake. So that's why sometimes I don't mind making mistakes, with students, because it makes you realize that, trust me, it no matter how much you write code, and I used to write code every day, not really every day, but a lot for various companies. So Cambio, so Carmart, when Cambio and Carmart just come in the 1990s, that was before it's found about still. For grocery stores, for gas stations and payroll of people, I can't get people pay. I mean, me can't even think I'm in the right program for. So I'm saying to you guys, mistakes are inevitable. So don't feel like, definitely don't feel like you don't. Don't feel that way. Because trust me, the way you learn programming is by making the mistakes, but learning to correct the mistakes. You can make mistakes and say, "I start over." Bad. That's the biggest mistake you'll make. My program have enough error, may start over. It have error because you're never really sure what to do. So you have to go through now and pick up the mistakes one by one and fix them. But I can only advise. I can't force you to do it. Definitely can't force you to do it. Control C. I'm gonna put this down here so now. Control V. Control V. And change back to X. Since we use X over here, so change all these back. Oh, make it counter X. Put X back here, so what else? All right, we're good. Should be good now. And this is a do while loop. Do while loop. And I put the parts in red that you change in order to make it a do while loop. Bold. And the counter here. This is how it becomes a do while loop. Bold and put in red. And let me pull the column here, line. Right, so it's a little bit better. All right. All right, that's the program. So we initialize and we increment. All right. Anybody have any questions?
No, sir.
All right.
So in a way, they kind of seem a bit similar, but I'm trying to pick out like what you do, because you said there's three different types, but they both don't for loop and do while loop, so it's kind of similar.
Yes, they are. That's true. That's very true, sir. They are both very similar, but the issue is, if you notice, that they are written slightly different. They are similar in the fact that all of them really allow you to repeat a certain part of your program. That's what it really does, right? So that's how they're similar. A for loop really works when you know you're going to repeat a certain number of times, a specific number of times. That's how a for loop works. One. Two, a while loop repeats as long as the condition is true. So it checks itself to see, okay, is this true yet? Yes. All right, for example, no, sorry, my mistake. It checks, is this still true? Yes, it repeats. Is it still true? Yes, it repeats. See there? Is X less than 1 still? Yes, it repeats. Is X still less? Add 1. Is X still less than 1? Yes, still less than 3, sorry, it repeats. Go again. Add 1 more again, no. It becomes 3. Is X still less than 3? No. So it stops. So a while loop basically tests itself to see if the condition is still true and then decides to repeat. The repeat until loop is Again, similar, but not exactly, but not the same. Here's how this one works now. Slightly different. There's no begin and there's no end statement. You see, we start off with the word repeat. Okay. Repeat. And then the test occurs at the bottom, down here. We'll go up a bit. All right. Making space. Make my footprint so I can have space. Until x is greater than 3. Semicolon. Here how this loop works now. This repeat until loop repeats as long as the condition is false. False. Well, it's not true. So x is 1 until x is greater than 3. So you're going to repeat until x is greater than 3. So let's run this code now. Scroll on, scroll. Let's run. This is not beginning to annoy me now, you know. Really beginning to annoy me now. Let me do wrong now. Until x is greater than 3. Let me do wrong now. Identify not found x. Let me have x. I have no x. Oh, see that. Till I get mad enough. Bellevue soon reach me. Counter. Jeez. All right. What is your name? Mousy. You're born 2000. What year is it? 2000. Mousy, you are now 0 years old. Just end the loop number 1. What is your name? Slinky. Where you born, Slinky? 1912. Where you born? 1915. We end loop number 2. Slinky, you're now 3 years old. Let's end loop number 2. What is your name? Name is Express. And make the name down name Express. Express, which year you're born? 2019. Which year is it? 2022. Express, you are now 3 years old. We just ended loop number 3. So you see now, as the program is going to get above 3, it stops. As soon as it becomes true, it stops. So this is how the repeat until loop works. Control A, oops, sure. Control, oh geez, Control Z. Control A, Control C. You know, I'm gonna put back the X them here, so X, 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 X. Which is this 3 runs. Something wrong with me now. Kill me dead, something wrong with me. Ah, boy, let me leave out now. Same thing. X, X. All right, run. Good. All right. Control A, Control A, Control C, and then paste this in here, Control V. And this is repeat until loop. I'll highlight the areas again in red that you need to change. Red. So if you really notice, the loops are in essence, all of them, the part that you loop is the same thing. You only really change the sections that determine the loop. There's a little bit, 1 or 2 more things I'm gonna tell you about loops, but I don't want to overburden your brain right now. Guys, all you should do, so you see, all I'm hinging on now is this, that you'd have practiced how to solve simple problems. Add two numbers, multiply two numbers, find the area of a circle, perimeter of a room, double a number, divide a number, calculate the average of numbers. And then all it is convert them to each loop just by adding in, let's say, this part here, so for a for loop. And then the end, you know what? Make sure the for loop thing. I mean, another called a for loop, you look. That part in another area here. Delete it all and over the for loop here. Let's just look weird that way. I understand. Oh, the margins, I don't know. The margins are the problem. Page setup. Margins left 0.9. Okay. It doesn't look like this Google Docs thing, you know. All right. Convert this back to a for loop. For x, therefore, equals 1, 2, 3, 2, begin. And then just put the, get rid of these two because I don't need them. And semicolon. What you need to remember about a for loop is that it automatically increments and initializes itself. So in a for loop, you don't need to put x equal x plus 1, nor do you need to give x a value. Okay, you already say for x equal 1 to 3. You told it where to start at 1, end at 3. If you say for x equal 1 to 100, it's going to start at 1, end at 100. So you don't need to tell the computer where to start, where to stop, or even how to get from one step to the next. It knows to count 1, 2, 3. That is what a for loop does. All right. So Control A, geez, Control C, and paste this thing down here. So now, what? Control V. Why does this? Oh, geez. All right, there's a cure for this. Insert column to the left. Delete all of this nonsense. Really? No, Control D. Sure. I really don't like Google Docs. All right, guys. So that's the general idea of it. All right, I'm really uncomfortable with Google Docs. Well, I like it, yeah, but sometimes I find something I'm not so used to it yet. I'll be using it for a while because I'm using Microsoft Office and so on a lot. All right, so it's called this for loop, and then I just hold this part of it. Hold on, no, that's not what I want. I want all. All right. So guys, this is what I expect you to practice. Practice your loops on the simple construct programs that you have done. right? Just practice your loops. Every single little program where you write it in a for loop. Write it in a do while loop. Write again in a do the same thing again in a repeat until loop. That's all I really want you to do. Loops aren't difficult, but if you don't practice, guys, you are never, like everything else in programming, you are never going to understand it. And I don't think that's something you can afford. Because the truth is, your SBA, I really want to start it, but I just think that there are some persons that don't understand enough about the concept yet. Are there any questions?